Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. Today we'll be talking about idealistic bodybuilding and being an idealist in general. But don't worry, I always make bigger points, but the actual first point I'll make after this little introduction here will be about bodybuilding and ideals and genetic potential and such. But okay, lately quite a few different people have accused me of being an idealist. And I say accused because it's very clear from the way they bring this up that it's not a good thing, you know. And don't worry guys, I'm not missing out on the fact that most of you that follow me love the unshakable optimism, I heard someone say, but I get a lot of similar feedback. And yeah, we love that here, but focusing on what people that already get it rarely makes for a good point. So this kind of person, you know, that would call me an idealist, the implication is that I'm somehow naive, you know, that I dream too big. The ambitions and goals I have, it's just not reasonable. I'm not trying to be reasonable, by the way, you know that from my video, Be Unreasonable. But you know, also my morals and the way I want to act, I describe how man should be. My ideals, right? It's like, it's too much, you know, people aren't like that anyway, and you know, most of the time, this person is someone that I would call a pessimist. It's typically a bitter old man, right? But they would, of course, call themselves a realist, and that I'm an optimist, naive, you know. What people don't realize is both the pessimist and optimist is a version of a realist. The optimist thinks about, they see all the opportunities and what might be possible if we only try, if I only give my best. If I only keep pushing, this might actually be possible, right? While the pessimist is like, nah, clearly not going to work out. I can see this, and this problem in the way, and maybe, you know, if I get there, I'd just be even more disappointed. I've wasted all this time, and better to just not go for it at all, you know. I clearly am siding of the side of the optimist, but we'll get to some nuance about that too. But let's start now with the bodybuilding idealism, right? You know, I am from the place I come from. I know how much is possible. What's seemingly impossible for an individual, it just takes enough effort, time, consistency, progressive overload, growth mindset, all of that. Because I come from absolute shit and darkness and pain that I thought I never would get over. Not only did I get over it, right? I became like 100 times more than I could have ever dreamed of being, right? So that's my focus. I know how my old mindset of, oh, see, all these things that happened to me in my life, and oh, because I had this experience, I'm like this now, and this is difficult, and this is difficult. Oh, I wish I'd done this earlier. It's too late. This realistic mindset just led me straight to hell. And of course, I needed hell to wake up and become an optimist. But the point is that even when there is, you know, realistic boundaries to what's possible, something, focusing on the absolute most extreme is always going to benefit you the most, right? So for instance, I have a video that's called Genetics Don't Matter for Bodybuilding, right? And a lot of people that already follow me are going to get the point that it's like, yeah, I didn't say in the video, it's just that I don't focus on it, that of course your genetics will influence the end result that you have, of course, right? My blonde hair even, it's genetic, okay? But I'm saying that, for instance, that if I have good genetics, which I don't really believe, by the way, maybe above average, but really I don't think my bodybuilding genetics are something special. But even if I grant you that, okay, my genetics are better than yours for building muscle, that you aren't looking better, that you aren't in great shape, it's not because my genetics are good, it's because you haven't done the work, right? And my point with a video like that is not that, oh, genetics don't exist. Everyone can become Ronnie Coleman. That's not the point at all. It's just to say that stop fucking focusing on all the reasons that it's not possible for you, because that's making you not even take action. Start focusing on what is possible, the best version of you. You know, because some people in that kind of video, they're going to be like, no, this is not scientific. Clearly, they make up all the bullshit. I'll never look like you know, because blah, 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 blah. Fuck what I look like, you know. Look like you. You're going to want to look like you, the best version of you. And I'm telling you, what I've done for 6 years when it comes to bodybuilding, show me the person that has done the same thing that doesn't look absolutely insane. That people also accuse of being on steroids all the time, you know, or you must have such good genetics. You know, take the person that it looks like from the start that they have crappy genetics, put them through exactly what I did for 6 years. Everyone is now going to say, yeah, that he has amazing genetics. You know, when I started training my calves, seriously, suddenly people are commenting that I have good calf genetics. It's interesting. There's no one pointed out that I have good calf genetics before I trained them seriously. Progressive overload, 2 exercises twice per week, just as serious as anything else. That's so funny. That's a side note. You know, for some reason, I've overheard this exact conversation many times in the gym that, oh, it feels like calves. Calves are like impossible to grow. Yeah, I think they're highly genetic. I even grant you that it seems to be one of the more like genetically influenced muscles. Like there are some people that never set a foot in a gym and they have huge calves for some reason. Some that keep grinding and they have defined calves but maybe not that big. Point being though is that you can still make your calves bigger. There's nothing magic about that, right? It's like dare to have an ideal and go for it, you know, because this is the nuance I want to do about optimism and realism. The optimist still has to keep their expectations in check, you know. When we have huge ambition, yes, we are setting ourselves up to be very disappointed if we like believe in something completely that wasn't possible at all, you know. But if we dare to hope and go for it, you know, while keeping our expectations in check, right? Then we'll see, if you shoot for the moon, you reach the stars kind of thing, you know? And sometimes it was possible. Sometimes even more was possible. Like, this is how I did it. And I'm talking even more about bodybuilding than I expected going into this video. But it was for me, when I've been grinding super hard for 2 years, you know, I pretty much have a similar look like now. I'm just smaller, but I can achieve the same level of leanness and that. And when I listen to content, natty or not content, you know, I see some charts about like genetic potential and stuff. It's like, have I really maxed out? From some of these, then they're pointing to every guy that looks kind of like me. It's like, oh, steroids, you know. And these charts, they're also like, when I do the math, it's like, I have a kilo or two of muscle left to gain after 2 years. You know, I'm black-pilled about this. But I just decide, instead of putting some unrealistic standard, I'm going to be Mr. Olympia or something. You know what? I don't quite believe it. I think I can do more. Let's go for more. But I was a bit pessimistic there because I took in all the fucking shit pessimism energy that I'm going to get to, that all you pessimists go spreading around other people, you know. But lo and behold, when I just embraced becoming better, not thinking about what's possible or not, does that person have better genetics? Oh, they can do more because they're on steroids, you know. I'll just become my ideal version. And I exceeded my expectations by a lot. And I realized I'm not done. I'm not even done. You know, I'm very happy with the way I look now. I have some gains to squeeze out still, okay? So that's another video I want to make. It's like, assume that it's possible. When you see someone, you're not sure, is that person natural or not? Well, assume that they're natural. It's going to serve you much better, right? Some people sometimes think about that. You know, of course, we don't want people lying about taking steroids and stuff, you know. That it's for other reasons that's problematic too. But like going around and being so suspicious of everyone and thinking that you're putting yourself in a world where it's like nothing is possible for me and everyone that's better than me are cheating. And it's like, rather give a person the benefit of the doubt that they're natural than the other way around, right? But so let's go to some other ideal things, you know. I have been in a celibacy for 5 years and I nuanced that. It might not have been a full-blown 5-year total celibacy if I didn't end up in a particularly tricky relationship situation. It was kind of outdrawn and distance and stuff, you know. But I'm still making the point that I think people are sleeping around way too much. I used to do that too. And, you know, I want a girl that doesn't have a high body count, that is traditional, the way I am. I don't want to meet a girl that's been like just plowed through, ran through by a bunch of men before I meet her. I have to set a good example. I cannot be like that myself, right? So, you know, we don't know. If I hadn't been in a relationship situation, you know, maybe I would have slept with 1 girl or 2. But I know I would have done it way less, way less. But here is where all these realists come and are supposed to help me, you know, like, that I'm too idealistic, that, you know, most people aren't like that, or you're wasting your youth, you know. It's like this kind of person, they want to go for less because they're afraid of missing out on everything, you know. While I'm like, I'm not happy with just less. I'm not happy with less than I think I could have, that I want. So I'd rather sacrifice less and not get anything in the pursuit to get everything. But many times that's what it turns out to be. I get everything, okay? When it came to the girls, you know, I know that by taking kind of an extreme stance on things and gone in an extreme direction, I know that I'm making myself unavailable to a lot of girls. Like, not necessarily unattractive, like, you know, they can talk how much they want, but really, when I show up looking like this, I make most girls insecure about their appearance, and they're gonna, you know, reject me before I can reject them many times. But, you know, even if that's the case, I know I'm making myself unavailable to a lot of girls, whether that's because I'm a weirdo and they don't want to be with me, or I just consider all of them fucking weirdos, or just losers, not interesting to me, right? But I'm making I'm not trying to, like, oh, maybe I need to hold on to some girl. No, I'm going for my ideal, how I want to be and what I want. And I know that I'm making myself the best man according to my standards, my ideals, not to women in general, right? I'm making myself the man, and the woman that's right for me is going to appreciate me, clearly. And quick caveat when I say that, I don't necessarily mean that they're just one. Like, even though I very much believe in soulmates and twin flames, it's hard to not do that when you've had the experience, but it's still not, it's not necessary that you're just meant for one person. But I'm saying the woman, as in the man I want to be, isn't the man that just, can hook up with the most just women. I want to be the man that's like, that I admire, that also the type of woman I admire will admire, because of course, like she's like, right? And do you know that the girl I've been involved with, she thinks I'm an idealist, okay? She calls me Don Quixote. I don't know how you pronounce that old novel I knew very little about. But she told me about it, that he's deluded, basically, and goes on these extremely idealistic, like, he wants to accomplish, like, grand things. When she told me about that, I said, that wasn't really sustainable, or whatever the word she used. And I'm like, sounds like he had a bunch of haters, you know, what assholes. But then I looked into it, and of course this guy, he was actually deluded, you know. I'm not here trying to say that, you know, I'll just learn to fly, you know. But I will fight for my ideals no matter what, okay? And honestly, do you want to be just a sane, okay person that's doing fine, you know? Or you want to be a crazy-ass, badass knight, though? Like, even a crazy knight that's completely deluded, it's more interesting to me, you know? He's fighting for something grand. Even in his case, it's a delusion, it's a complete dream, right? But yeah, in the case of me and the girl, is that, yeah, you know, it's a crazy situation we got ourselves involved with. There are many obstacles in the way. I cannot go into it, like I tell you guys, out of respect. It's like one day the story will be told, but just believe me, like anyone that looks at this would be like, it's not possible, even also distance and all of this. But to me, it's been like, I've always seen that it's possible to figure this out. And I love her so deeply, and yeah, I just have to go for it. I cannot not go for it. And she thinks I'm crazy for this, right? But the thing to me is that this is the end, even if you have to keep your expectations in check, like I said, because I've of course made that mistake too, to believe too much about something and not even consider not getting this and then being disappointed. You know, yeah. But to me though, when you do keep your expectations in check, but as long as you see, you have to find out. I don't quite know yet. I have to know if it was possible, you know. And to me, that's when I can gain peace. And when you embrace things like this, that relationship, someone could be like, oh, you wasted years on that or something. I didn't waste anything. I didn't break character. I lived in alignment with my values, right? What I think is right, what God tells me is right. That's all that matters to me. Not if, I'll try to get a girl, or I try to... no, I answer to no one but the man above and the ideals that he has given me, right? And so I have to fight for love. When it's true love, when there's not immoral actions from the other party, there's just a whole bunch of tricky circumstances around it. I have to go for it to at least see that, okay, maybe it can't be, you know. Now I can feel good about that, at least, knowing that I did fucking everything I could. And also, that's what people don't realize. When you don't see problems and what can go wrong and what you lose all the time, you can gain a lot, even from this. Do you know how much I gained from that experience? I wouldn't take back anything, nothing. Like, knowing some things I know now, if I theoretically could go back, I would do differently. But you need to do mistakes to learn things, right? And so, the worst thing that could have happened here is that I loved the person that I admire most in the world and did everything I could to make it work out for us, right? And in the process, I made the process knowing that I'm fighting for something, that ideal, that I don't know will come true, right? But I know that I have a great opportunity to work on me now, because I discovered in a situation like that, you know, the romantic relationship, it's in the end where you can learn the most. And I discovered where I had some problems still. Abandonment wound, you know, people-pleasing tendencies, anxiety, fear of abandonment, yeah. I worked on it today. It's like gone. Like, oh, don't get it's another topic. Like our shit, our deepest shit from childhood, it's never completely 100% gone, but we get to know it, we overcome it to a big degree, and when when it's activated somehow, we know better to deal with it. So do you see, the worst thing that kind of happened is that I'm extremely prepared for the next person, if it's going to be the next person, right? I am single, just to be clear. But you have some things here, I'm just going on, but that's a message I want to give people, you know, that go for it. Everything is possible, and not literally everything, but so much is possible. And when you go for it, if you go for something that wasn't possible in the end, well, now you know, you have peace of mind, and you can be proud of yourself that you fought so hard without having a guarantee that it would work out, right? But you also see that when you go for something and it didn't work out, it wasn't a failure, it was a lesson. If you don't stare yourself blind at the thing you didn't get, you're gonna see all the other things you did get in this pursuit, right? And that's what I want to tell people that were, you know, imagine the guy I was, you know. I've struggled so much my entire life. This, what you see here, is built on pain, okay? It takes a lot for me to be this optimistic and idealistic, okay? I still struggle at times with that. Last year, all the time, I was negative, depressed. I'm thinking, I can't go on. I can't let go of this. It's fucked up forever, you know. But even when I can't feel it and believe it, I act according to my ideals. I act as if something more is possible. I do the best I can, right? But imagine the guy I used to be that hadn't had his worldview changed like this, that it did for me when I went through the panic attacks and overcame them, right? Came out on the other side and realized that in the process, not only did I overcome the actual panic attacks, I overcame so many of the problems that I thought, this is just who I am. I'm just doomed to be this way. I learned that it was, in fact, not true. Imagine if someone would have told this guy that I was, that's been, before the panic attack, struggled with anxiety and depression, existential crisis, all this crap for years, right? Imagine if someone told him that this could happen. And then someone else comes and says, no, don't believe that, you know. Don't believe that. You're being naive, you know, it's not possible. Just get on pills, you know. There are a lot of people that go on pills. It's okay. It's like, you know, I even sympathize, because of the fucking guy I am, I even sympathize with the people that cannot see anything other than things going wrong, cannot predict anything other than misery. But at least keep that fucking shit to yourself, you know, and don't come polluting people like me that have fought so hard to be optimists and idealists, right? And look, by the way, how has that worked out for me? Having, not listening to, oh, that it's not really possible to build much muscle. If you go back, you know, tie the knot on all this, it's not really possible to build that much muscle naturally. Look at that guy's genetics, I'll never have that. Oh, everyone bigger than me is on steroids. But when I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna become a fucking Greek god statue, people say that when you're natural, you have to choose between shredded or big. I don't know, I'm just gonna... And look what fucking happened, okay? Look what fucking happened. Like all these realists, they weren't realists at all. They were just pessimists. And they, on some level, know it and feel bad about it. And so tearing others down that have out-accomplished them, that didn't get stuck in the same negative mindset as them, they just want to tear them down. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. It's pathetic. Okay? It's like, yeah, again, it's difficult for me because I just realize too much. I realize where you're coming from, that your life experiences have taught you that. To just be prepared for the next misery, catastrophe, or disappointment, you know. But it's like the least attractive trait to me. And in the end, actually, what begrudgingly actually makes me feel a bit repelled to the girl I loved so much, that she is like that. Where I see solutions, she sees problems. And yeah, too many people are like that. Too many people are like that. This like this fucking older guy that comes and gives his wisdom to me. You know, even has to point that out, that I'm older and have wisdom that you don't have. And then it's just fucking pessimism. Just talking about where I shouldn't expect too much and this is not really possible and other people are not like that anyway, blah, blah, blah. It's so disgusting. Do you know that I actually respect age to a degree? Like the way I see it, is more likely that someone is more mature when they're older. They have more time to have both experiences and insights, right? But I've also met like 60-year-old men that act like little boys, and I've talked to 20-year-old guys that is like, wow, I can't believe the level of insight here. Girls too, by the way. Like a girl I worked a little bit with 20 years. I was like amazed at some things she knew at that age. Very impressive, but the age, so clearly the age isn't everything. But my point is that, yeah, well, if I talk to a man that's older than me, that I can tell is on a similar path in life, I will be very eager to listen, even consider that he knows better than me about some things. But the guy that comes self-proclaimed a wiser old man, and comes with this negative crap, it's like, no, you haven't learned anything. I've learned much more at an earlier age than you, or otherwise I would still be a little crap, shit. Like you know, and it just hurts you to see a younger guy being better than you in every way. And it's not narcissism, it's just true, okay? Yeah, I'm just thinking. Yeah. No, be an idealist, guys. It's like I say, we gotta keep our expectations in check, right? It's not about being a fucking madman. But a little bit too. Don't be completely realistic. Dare to open up for what seems unrealistic, impossible. Just, you know, keep yourself grounded. But it's like dare to dream. Dare to find out too. That's the thing. You gotta find out. That's the thing with a pessimist, the so-called realist, that, you know, if we have two people in a relationship, yeah, probably good if one is a bit optimist and a bit pessimist. You're going to balance each other out. It's necessary to pull in both directions. But in general, I always have a preference for which side I would prefer to be more of. And, you know, the person that's too optimistic, the worst thing that can happen is that they kind of like, you know, hit the wall sometimes and they're like, have to reconsider, you know. But they're going to go for much more things. They're going to have a better energy, feel better, you know. And the pessimist, they're not going to even find out. They're not going to even find out. They decide beforehand that, no, it's not possible. Or if it's possible, something else will break on the way. Or I'll lose so much in the process. You know, you cannot be around these people too much. It's like, you know, when you're vibing at those highest frequencies of enlightenment, love, joy, it's like nothing can get through to you. But sometimes, like even when you're feeling okay, I can just feel the drain when I'm around these people. That it's like all the energy they're sending you is that everything is lost. Yeah, I've settled, and I could never have done more. In general, nothing more is possible in life. Life is just pain and losses. And no, it is pain and losses. What do we do about it now? You know, we transmute it into something. That's what you got to realize. Well, all the pessimists and all that are so afraid of being hurt and lost and all that. You realize that all greatness is built upon that. A guy doesn't look like me without having certain experiences beforehand that, you know, are in contrast on the other side to that. And if a guy looks like me and didn't have those experiences, he's just a completely different person. Probably kind of a douche. Probably does this just to get the women, you know. Probably quite insecure. And it's just all about looks, you know. But when it's like, yeah, well, I don't know. I'm just going on. I just get so fired up. I did not intend to do this video this long at all. But yeah, guys, it's like, you know, I am having a good period in my life, but there's been some difficulties. I mentioned the relationship stuff and that. It's intense stuff. I have days I don't feel optimistic about anything, you know, but I relentlessly keep going for it, being as optimistic as I can, being as good as I can, not letting my negativity go out on other people, you know. And I keep finding myself back to where I'm supposed to be. And I've seen it, you know, so many things. If I had listened to all the pessimists, yeah, I mean, I've proven them wrong on so many things. Do you know how many people that regret now cutting me out of their life? Because they think I'm kind of crazy and he's doing this, it's never going to work out, YouTube and all that. Look at me now, you know? It's like, I know many other things. It's always like this. Like innovation, you know, that society moves forward. Incredible, you know, innovations, technology, all kinds of things, you know. Just physical feats that human beings manage to accomplish. What if we all listened to you little loser pessimists, you know? We wouldn't get shit done. We all would be mediocre, skinny fat, depressed, anxious, all on medication, working some job we hate, you know, just kind of waiting to die slowly. It's like you're ruining it for everyone. Do you want to be that person? You have a choice. You know, you cannot always choose how you feel, but you can have ideals. They're not connected to the way you feel. Okay? You can act accordingly. Even when you feel negative, you can try to see the positive, the hardest you can. You can try to be positive to other people around you. It's like, it's not that it's not okay to struggle and have a hard time feeling it at times. You know, I even say, there's some sayings. Do you know that men with their own ideals and ideas, they don't just quote things verbatim or just take things exactly as they are, unless they could agree completely, of course. But a saying, for instance, is that never be overheard complaining, not even to yourself. Okay, I have a bit too much to say today because I ran out of memory just there, but me as an optimist about that, never be overheard complaining, not even to yourself, I don't agree, you know, because sometimes things are just fucking heavy and sucks, and you just need to let it out, you know, some things, when I think about some things, why my relationship didn't work out, for instance, you know, you don't know what I want to do. You don't know how angry, how evil some things in this world are, you know, how much darkness there is in this world. I cannot be positive about that all the time. Yeah, I've needed to certain people complain a lot, you know. I say though that as long as you're taking steps, you know, you're acting according to your ideals, you're doing the right thing, you're trying with all your might, you're allowed to complain and be negative sometimes. But overall, the ideal is to be optimistic. So you act in that way even when you can't feel that way. Okay? Okay guys, it was a much longer video than I thought. Please like and comment. I'm always interested in hearing what you have to say. I do holistic bodybuilding coaching, body, mind and soul, jacked and stacked, mentally, physically, spiritually. That's what we do. So if you're interested, you can send me a DM on Instagram or email me. It's in the description below. You can pick up my training book, Uncommon Sense Bodybuilding, with everything you need to get jacked and stacked, mindset, the technical stuff, the philosophy, everything. Also linked in the description. You can become a Patreon. I'm going to post an upper body ring workout there that the Patreons get preview for. There's going to be exclusive content too, but also preview content. There is exclusive content already. But please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, sources, and mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. Be optimistic. There's like nothing more to say. Stop being a fucking loser pessimist disguised as realist. Peace.